Hello, everyone. Thank you for listening and watching. My name is Nefertiti, and you can find my information in the description box below. Welcome to another episode of Self-Love Sunday. It's been a while, I know. I have been navigating these very intense energies like the rest of you. A lot of my purpose, my job, my mission has been under a period of review and revision, and I've just been taking it one day at a time and producing content and posting things as it feels natural, as it feels good to me. Because collectively, we are in a period of slowdown. We have 6 planets retrograde, and as I'm making this video, we have Mercury stationing direct today. So these are very just stop and go energies, very intense energies for inner work, for pulling our energy back, going within. I wanted to talk to you today about 7 things that you need to know when it comes to self-love, the self-love journey. Self-love is talked about a lot in the spiritual community because self-love is the spiritual path in essence. We have other factors and components, people that come in to help us, people that come in to guide us. We can always look for information outside of us to support us, but the true self-love journey occurs within. And I wanted to talk to you about the nature of that. So the first thing to know is that self-love is always the answer and can be the only constant in your life at times. So no matter what's going on around you, you can always practice self-love. It's something that you can always cultivate within yourself. And it's the thing that's going to keep you the most grounded, the most centered during times of chaos and upheaval. The second thing to know about self-love, in particular unconditional love, is that it really only exists in the higher dimensions. We talk about unconditional love, but even from a positive perspective, creating boundaries is putting conditions on love. And we need to have boundaries. They're necessary, right? For example, we can have unconditional love for our spouse and for our children, but we don't fuck our children. We fuck our spouse. Do you see what I mean? There's got to be boundaries, right? So when it comes to unconditional love, I feel like it's important to definitely understand the concept, the idea of it, but we also have to have a balance in this third dimension that we exist in, and that means healthy boundaries. The next thing to know is that in practical terms, self-love starts with self-actualization. And you've heard me talk about this in a lot of my videos. Self-actualization, being independent of the good opinion of other people, having no investment in power over others, and detached from outcomes. So that automatically pulls your energy, your focus inward, because you're not focused on anything outside of you determining your mood, your attitude. This is something that you know you have the power to cultivate through being self-actualized. Another thing to know about self-love, as I mentioned earlier, is that it is the spiritual path. It's not necessarily a religion or a dogma or something that is like a program, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's a path, and it's a different path for everyone, and it's a narrow path. Another thing to know about love is that the opposite of love is not hate, it is fear. Hate is something that we do. It's an action, it's a verb. Fear is something that we connect to, which is a lack of light. When we're fearful, we attract other things into our lives to be afraid of. You know, we can love somebody but hate their ways. We can love an environment but hate certain things about that environment. So when we're talking about love and connecting to love, it's really about connecting to light. Another thing about the self-love journey is that it is a journey. It is something that you will do for the rest of your life. And the journey is cyclical. Remember that life in and of itself is cyclical, from the cell to the planets orbiting around the sun, our universe, and all of the cycles of our seasons. So self-love and healing are also cyclical. We have layers upon layers upon layers of energy to move through. And we have the capacity to address certain things at certain times, depending on our emotional state, depending on the collective energies available to us to support us during that aspect of our self-love journey. So there's times when we're looking at our grief. There's times when we're looking at our physical health. There's times when we're looking at our mental health. These are all components of the self-love journey, and we cycle through these as we move through higher levels of awareness, higher levels of understanding within ourselves. Then we're able to process more information and go deeper within ourselves for healing as we're ready. Another thing to know about the self-love journey is that it will create upheaval in your life. Love will come into your life and remove anything unlike itself. And if this brings up pain and anxiety, that's okay. That just means that your feelings of love were genuine. So the self-love journey does require walking away, giving up, letting go, moving on, because you have to create that space for love to flow in, more loving experiences, more loving relationships, more loving manifestations. So let's continue to love ourselves, especially during this time of great change on the planet. We're dealing with pandemics, we're dealing with racial inequality coming to the surface, we're dealing with a lot of density being purged. So self-love is going to be critical at this time. And it has to be an everyday, consistent practice. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I look forward to speaking to you again really, really soon. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.